Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome back to Just Keep Parenting. Happy that you joined in for a few minutes to stop, take a deep breath, and think about our parenting tactics, our parenting resources, our parenting tools. We all have them. We just have to sometimes stop and think about them, right? We have to stop and think about um, what we know to be best. And frankly, we have to get back into our thinking brain and out of our brainstem to be able to do that. So I appreciate you tuning in and sharing if you feel like it, because these aren't long videos. They're just quick little 5 to 10 minute videos that can help us rethink or relearn or just redo sometimes. Sometimes it's just a matter of just rewinding, right? And being able to put our best foot forward again. So today, in the last few weeks, we've been talking about the skills. First, we talked about the powers, and now we're talking about the skills. And so today we're going to talk about the skill of consequences, right? Which is helping children learn from their mistakes. And, some people take this from a behaviorist viewpoint, and we end up hitting or we end up belittling because we want them to learn. When in reality, as we look at how children learn, they learn from their mistakes, right? So our job is to help them see a better way. Our job is to help them see that because this happened, right? The cause and effect, because you did this, this happened, then this is the consequence, right? One of the things that we do in the lab school that I try to work with the teachers about is to make sure that as they go to guide the children, that the children always understand what the consequence is. So that if the children, for example, this is a simple little thing, but it has made such a difference in the classroom, and that is if they're sitting up on their knees in the front of the classroom when we're at large group, the teachers say to them, you need to sit on your pocket so the people behind you can see, right? So giving them the why with it. And then if it happens again, then they'll say, sweetie, you need to sit on your pockets because so-and-so can't see behind you. If you want to sit like that, then you need to come to the back, right? And so then the third time in, they're saying, you know what, we chatted about this, so you need to just come up and come to the back. Most of the time when that happens, the children just are like, oh, yeah, okay, I'll get to the back, right? Rarely do we have any kind of resistance with that if they know in advance this is what's happening. The resistance comes when we're like, sit in the back. And they're like, what? Well, I told you, sit in the back, right? And so it's mostly us handling our frustrations, right, with it. And sometimes life brings on those frustrations, right? But if we can help them to understand that there's always a consequence, right, for their mistake. I love it in our capstone class last week with the teachers. We talked about the fact that sometimes we choose the vegetable tray and sometimes we choose the cookies. But we always know we're choosing, right? And there's a consequence. There's a consequence for the vegetable tray. There's a consequence for the cookies. But we're choosing that, right? It is a learning time for us. So getting down into brass tacks, consequences can be used fearfully or they can be used lovingly, right? If we use them to instill fear, right, they act as a punishment, right? If we use them in a spirit of love, then they teach, right? And so we just kind of have to weigh this, right? Do we want to be seen? Do we want to be felt as a punisher or as a teacher, right? A teacher of love. And so it draws on that power of attention. If you want to go back and look at that video, the power of intention, it draws on that and reemphasizes the fact that every conflict is an opportunity to teach, right? Teach for good or teach for bad, but it's an opportunity to teach, right? And so I loved it. The other day we had a situation where one of the teachers, we had two little boys that were just running around the cubbies and running, and all the teachers are doing their centers, right, during discovery time, and I'm in the booth and nobody has said anything to these two little boys that are running. And finally one of the teachers who's wearing a black apron, that means that she's cleaning for the day, she meets them where they can't go around her, right? She gets down on their level and she says, boys, running is not safe. So you've got some choices. You've got this center and she shows them what they're doing. You've got that center and she shows them what they're doing, or you've got this center. So your job right now is to stop running and go make a choice. Do you want to do it on your own, or do you want me to help you? We can do it. Great. They did it. They went and we didn't have any running the rest of the hour, right? And I just love the fact, as we talked in during debriefing, I just said to her, that was spot on, right? It wasn't about you. It was about them being safe. And you got on their level so that they could look you in the eye, right? And you just said, running is not safe. You shouldn't be running, you know. Running is not safe. My job as a teacher is to keep you safe. So these are your options, right? And so I just love the fact that the teachers are getting it, right? And when we grow from our mistakes, we become more proficient, right, at choosing effective responses to use at those curves. We all have curves, right? We all have those opportunities to choose. We all have humps, bumps, right, that we have to figure out. And so as caregivers of children, being able to help them figure that out. It's not about getting angry. It's not about, right, but it is about a learning opportunity for children, right? And so anyway, that's my hope this week as we go into the Thanksgiving week, is that consequences instill the value of responsibility and the ability to respond to situations. And so as we head in to a Thanksgiving week, those are things I'm grateful for, that we've learned about consequences. And I still have humps, I still have bumps and curves, right, that I have to stop, take a deep breath, and think through before I speak, right? But I'm grateful that I have that knowledge now. And so anyway, happy Thanksgiving to everybody, and keep on drawing on that power of intention and helping children and ourselves, actually, right, to learn from the mistakes that we have in our life. Happy parenting, everybody. Have a great weekend.